Getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is one of the coolest things that a celebrity can accomplish, as it cements your name as a legendary person in the industry that will never be forgotten, by literally putting it in cement that will never move. There are more than 2,400 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, with celebrities being awarded for their achievements in film, TV, music, and more. But there are also some huge celebrities that have not received a star yet, and honestly some of them are insanely shocking. Hey, what's up everyone, it's Mackenzie here, and today on IO I'm going to be filling you in on the top 10 celebrities that haven't been nominated for a star on the Walk of Fame. But before I get into this juicy video, make sure to like and subscribe below. Also check out our playlist up there of other top 10s just like this one. Alright, now for that list. Starting off at number 10, we have Leonardo DiCaprio. So I thought I'd start this list off with a true shocker. And I truly cannot understand how he wouldn't have a star. He's been a successful actor ever since he did Titanic, which I think was filmed when he was just a teenager. It just really makes no sense. But it really does seem like he has a strange relationship with Hollywood awards in general, because he didn't win his first Oscar until 2016, even though he's been in some of the most iconic movies of all time and nominated for plenty of Oscars. So maybe now that he has his Oscar, his Hollywood star will soon follow. But if it's taken this long, I'm not too sure. Fans are so mad that Leo doesn't have a Hollywood star that there's even a petition to get him one, although it hasn't gained much traction. But at his level of success, he's one of the few true A-list celebrities that has yet to get awarded with a star. How? Tell your theories below. I cannot fathom that one. And at number 9, Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher's absence on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is one of the most controversial there is. It was highlighted more so after her passing in 2016, when fans wanted to come to her star and create a tribute to her. But fans were outraged and upset when they learned that she didn't have one. But that didn't stop them, as tons of her fans created a shrine of their own in a small portion of a space on the corner of Orange Drive and Hollywood Boulevard, according to Variety, with a makeshift star created with candles and flowers left all around. But considering how much of an uproar was caused from her not having a star, there's a pretty good chance she'll be nominated for a posthumous one. In at number 8, Kanye West. Kanye West is one of the most iconic musical artists in the world, broadening genres and changing music for the better. He also considers himself to be a musical genius, and honestly, a lot of people would agree. But even though he's incredibly famous and successful, he doesn't have a star on Hollywood Boulevard, with him even transcending just music and becoming a mainstream designer with his Yeezy clothing line. Given all these accolades, it's a little crazy that he doesn't already have a Hollywood star. But at least he isn't alone, as the spokesperson for the Hollywood Walk of Fame commented that Kim Kardashian isn't eligible for a star, so I guess they're together in that. In at number 7, Prince. Prince's fans were deeply saddened by his passing in 2016 and were incredibly disappointed when they couldn't go visit a star on Hollywood Boulevard to honor him, because he didn't have one. His fans were shocked that the people responsible for the Hollywood Walk of Fame wouldn't have honored the musical icon with a star. This is Prince, come on. However, the truth of the matter is a little different. Prince was actually approached by the organization to receive a Hollywood star back in 1999, but he actually declined, with a producer for the Walk of Fame saying that he, quote, just wasn't ready. Now, similarly to Carrie Fisher, his fans will now have to wait and see if he'll be added posthumously, which happens 5 years after the passing of the star. In at number 6, Beyonce. This one is a serious jaw dropper. Beyonce doesn't have a Hollywood star. Someone over there must actually not be doing their jobs correctly, because Beyonce deserves a star, no question. Not only is she beloved in the music industry and a good role model to women everywhere, she's a boundary breaker. She also won 21 Grammys, as well as plenty of other awards, so her omission isn't really justified whatsoever. An interesting twist is that the musical group she started in, Destiny's Child, does have a star, just not any of the ladies individually. Page 6 got the scoop on this one. Apparently, the official rules are that the person who wants one has to apply. So Beyonce just actually hasn't applied to get one, with the association saying that they would love to give her the star, she just needs to take the first step. So I guess, she's very busy, and I'm sure she'll come around to get it at some point. In at number 5, George Clooney. George Clooney is another head scratcher, as he's been in the industry for a long time and has starred in tons of iconic movies. However, the story here is actually kind of funny. Basically, Clooney was nominated and accepted the award, but he never set a date for his ceremony. And since the ceremony is a big part of the experience and the rules state the recipients must be present during the ceremony, he can't get the star until he sets that date. And there's a 2-year window before that date expires, so he better get on it soon. And at number 4, Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts stars in one of my favorite movies of all time, Eat, Pray, Love. And I know you guys are probably gonna judge me for that, but honestly, it's such a great movie and about love and traveling. I swear I've probably watched it 15 times, you can roast me below. So I was shocked to learn that someone like Julia, who starred in tons of hit movies for decades, wouldn't have a star. But the truth is that Julia actually doesn't want one, if you can believe it. And she actually declined to be featured on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. According to Screwball, she says she simply wasn't bothered by being featured on it or not. Clint Eastwood is another person that feels this way and just doesn't want one for some reason. With one of the heads of the organization saying in an interview, quote, "There's one spot left in front of the Chinese theater if he wants it," Martinez said of Eastwood, who has been nominated many times over the years. That's pretty good of him to, have that place in front of the iconic Chinese theater. And at number 3, Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is another huge Hollywood star that doesn't have a star on Hollywood Boulevard. And his story is about the same as George Clooney's. He was nominated, selected, and everything was ready to go, but he never ended up picking a date for the ceremony. And since they won't give out the award without a ceremony, he didn't end up getting it. And like I said earlier, there's a 2-year window before the whole process needs to be done over again. That includes the nomination and selection. So hopefully, he gets on it soon or a star spot might be given away. And at number 2, Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen is a legendary singer-songwriter, and even though he has tons of hits to his name, including Born in the USA, he doesn't have a star in the USA. Well, apparently he was nominated and selected and even made a date for the ceremony and everything, but he didn't show up for the ceremony. And since that had literally never happened before, the organization made a new rule that celebrities needed to attend the ceremony or they wouldn't get the star, with the head of the organization joking that the new additional policy is referred to as the Springsteen policy in the office. And after everything was said and done and tons of contact was made to see how the ceremony could be set up again or what could be done, Bruce actually said he didn't even want the star after all. So after all that hoopla, no star for him, I guess. And finally, number 1, Rihanna. This one is another massive shock that I truly cannot believe. Rihanna is one of the most successful women in music of all time, and she doesn't have a star. Seriously, how is that possible? Rihanna is a 9-time Grammy Award winner, as well as being the first woman of color to stay on the Billboard 200 chart for 200 weeks straight. She's also one of the most streamed artists on Spotify, even though she hasn't released an album since 2016. Tell me how that's making any sense. But on top of her record-breaking music career, we also know and love her for her other many very successful ventures, like her Fenty Beauty collection, which broke boundaries by offering an inclusive shade range. She also owns a lingerie brand called Savage by Fenty, and she runs a non-profit organization as well. So with all of this in mind, it really makes no sense that this is a thing, but I wasn't able to find any details on if she's ever been offered one or not, or if she just doesn't want it, but she just doesn't have one for whatever reason. Alright everyone, that's all for the story today. Let me know what you're thinking about this below. Who shocked you the most, or who do you think is next in line to get a star? My most shocking was probably Leo, because I just figured, he's Hollywood royalty at this point, but I'm sure he's probably in the works or something. Now before I head out, I'm gonna shout out some comments from my video on why TikTok has been trending. So Melina said, unpopular opinion, TikTok gots to go. Popular opinion, TikTok is problematic. Another popular opinion, everyone who is or was involved in the Hype House is overrated. Same goes for the Sway Boys or whatever they call themselves. I agree with most of those. I don't think TikTok as a whole is problematic. There's some really good stuff on there, but I get it definitely has problematic undertones for sure. I'm So Bored said, I think talking about Carole Baskin's Dancing with the Stars debut needs to be talked about. It does. Whoever put her on that show deserves a raise, because I'm sure she's getting so many ratings. I've never cared for one single second about who's on Dancing with the Stars, but now with Carole Baskin, I considered watching the beginning of the show. I didn't even know it had already aired, but I definitely watched her performance and the judge, I watched it all online. So they're getting all these, viewers from her. It's crazy. She's not a dancer. It is the fact that they chose Eye of the Tiger though, chef's kiss, that's who thinks of that? That's amazing. Then Wallflower number 1 said, I've never been so early, I'm so happy, love you Kenzie, you're simply chef's kiss magnificent. How coincidental is that I just did a chef's kiss right before I did your comment? I love the chef's kiss. Can we never let that die? It's my favorite thing. Wallflower number 1, you are chef's kiss. Alright everyone, that's all for the video today. Thanks so much for sticking around. We've made it all the way here. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and I'll catch you in the next one. He's been a successful actor ever since he did Titanic. He's been a successful actor ever since he did oh my god. But that didn't stop them, as tons of her fans created a shrine. Tons of fans created a shrine for their, oh my god, with a makeshift, even though he has tons of hits to his name, including Born in the USA, he doesn't have a star in the USA. Oh my god. Literally just added. Oh my god, my jokes are great, guys.